We're going to take a short look today at an old blues classic, but made popular again in the 90s when Eric Clapton started playing it, called Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out. Now, it dates back to the 20s, and kind of pre the Depression era, but kind of foreboding, forecasting kind of stuff or something. Anyway, what I want to do in this lesson is really just talk about the chord progression, not too much on the right hand, because you could just strum it. It could be a campfire song. So the chord progression is the most important thing, but we will talk a little bit about the right hand. You basically use your thumb kind of in opposition to your fingers. So a lot of grabbing, or as Clapton plays it, a lot of brushing with his index finger, just picking a bunch of fairly normal chords, a couple of cool little blues licks in there. Might throw that in on the A chord, and we'll talk a little bit about his notes he uses in the lead, because the lead is played kind of following the chords. We hear a little bit of a C pentatonic scale, and then following the chords a little bit, blues in A and following a D minor chord. Anyway, you hear a little bit of that kind of stuff. So I'll walk through the patterns he uses and how those notes apply to the chord. So that's a little bit of, actually that's going to be a lot of what I want to talk about today anyway. So coming up in the next segment, you can take a look at the chart and just start messing around with the chords. But in the next segment, we'll look at a couple of different ways of playing the chords and some of the specific little licks, and then you'll be able to add Nobody Knows You When You're Down and Out to your repertoire and library. Actually, I do want to talk a little bit about the right hand before we get into the progression. Now that I think about it, because I mentioned in the first segment that Clapton plays a lot of this with his finger brushing up on the chords. Tending to hit bass notes on the beats, keeping the thumb kind of Big Bill Broonzy style, pounding away on bass notes. And right there would be a very typical way of doing that. Brushing with your index finger while you hit the bass note on beat 1, and then catching it on the and of 1 as well, coming in with the next bass note on 2. Now right there on the A7, I hit the A in the bass, and came in on the and of 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and. So we're kind of strumming upstrokes with the index finger, and then pounding away on the bass. Now you could also, what I tend to do more in this is use my 3 fingers kind of as a strumming tool, I guess. Some of the things that you can do to play lead to this are, well, I'm going to talk about a couple of different scales first that you should have down. So starting on C, 3rd fret of the 5th string. Our C major pentatonic scale would go C, D, and then you'd shift up to E, those 3 notes. 3rd, 5th, 7th frets, and then the 5th and 7th on the next string, and the 5th and 7th on the next string. So we got a little block of 6 notes here. This is all also out of our A minor pentatonic scale that would go from A to C to D to E. So C major pentatonic and A minor pentatonic are the same scale. So a nice little pattern or group of patterns to use, though, is starting back here on C, going to D and sliding up to E, then G and A on the next string, and C and D on the next string. At which point we want to slide again, C, D, E, and then to our G, so that would be the 5th, 7th, and 9th frets, and then to the 8th fret for the G of on the 2nd string. and this little block of 4 notes too at the 8th and 10th on both strings.